Hi everyone, welcome to SCAI-TV at SCAI Scientific Sessions 2025. I'm Nazli Okumus. We are joined by Dr. Samantha Espinosa today. She's an Interventional Cardiology Fellow at Brigham and Women's, and she is the SCAI-WIN CHIP Winner of the Year.
Thanks, Nazli. Thanks, Dr. Espinosa. This is Khansa. I'm from the Women in Innovations Committee, and we are here with Dr. Espinosa, who is the rewardee of this year's WIN CHIP CTO Fellowship. So why don't you tell us more about the program and how you went about applying for it?
Sure. Well, first, thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with you today, and just to the SCAI-WIN committee for this amazing opportunity. So just extremely grateful. But yeah, it's sort of a non-linear path, I would say, to interventional. But once I found my, place, I was super happy there, and became very clear that I was really interested in complex coronary disease, and so I was already thinking that I would pursue maybe a CHIP fellowship. But at the start of my year, this past year, lots of emails coming through about the SCAI-WIN Fellowship, and saw that was an awesome opportunity to join this community of women doing complex coronary disease, and then also, to be able to have the support of the program to actually pursue a CHIP fellowship. So it's been a wonderful opportunity. I'm excited to see, how things change over the next year and beyond with joining this community. But yeah, very grateful. Of course, it's sponsored by several companies to help fund my year as a CHIP fellow in the Mass General Brigham program. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
This is really exciting.
Yeah.
Tell us about the application process. How do you pick your program? Does the application process give you opportunity to pick multiple programs?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, our program had a bit of experience. One of the prior SCAI-WIN Fellowship awardees was from the Mass General Brigham program a couple years ago. So they had a little bit of experience already, but mostly, I found out about it through emails and, a lot of great outreach from the SCAI-WIN committee. So, but yeah, it's, online application, personal statement, letters of recommendation, of course. And then I was fortunate in that I was already at a program that had on a CHIP year that you could do afterwards, but you were able to preference, programs that you would be applying to if you weren't already like an internal candidate. So, but yeah.
Great. And what do you think future has in store for you? Like, how do you think this will help project your career and help your trajectory?
Yeah. Apart from, of course, the monetary component and just making sure that I actually can do the training, that there will be a program for the next year for me. I imagine the biggest part of it is going to be able to be, joining this community of women that are already doing these amazing procedures. I talk to my mentors a lot about, how the field of interventional is changing, and we're doing more and more, but as you take on more risk, like, you really do need a support community kind of through that, and even my most experienced attendings, they say they send films to their colleagues all the time, say, hey, I'm going to do this case, what thoughts do you guys have on this, how would you approach it, here's what I was thinking, so really being able to sort of accelerate, I guess, me joining that community and having that support is awesome. And then I'm excited to, afterwards be able to give that back as well, be a resource for future trainees coming after me as well.
I'm sure you'll be a great resource for future trainees. For speaking of future trainees, for those who are thinking about applying to this pathway, I'm quite not sure, what are your recommendations?
Yeah, I would say, I kind of alluded, but I came to interventional cardiology pretty late. It was my last rotation as a general fellow in my first year, and I'd spent the whole first year thinking I was going to do advanced imaging, really loved it. But I'd walked into the cath lab that last month and I realized, oh no, this is where I need to be. This is really what I'm excited about. And so I think I would say to trainees, just keep your mind open to opportunities. Sometimes it's, the last minute you realize this is actually what I'm meant to do or what I'm passionate about. And it's always okay to change course. Nothing is set in stone. So I think that's what I would say.
So, Dr. Espinosa, why do you think it's important to have programs like this that support women for pursuing complex coronary procedures like the WIN CHIP Fellowship?
Sure. Tough question, but I think is sort of the question, really. There's so many women going into medicine now, right? And, for a lot of programs, more than 50% of incoming medical students are women, but there's still such a minority of women going into cardiology, so specialties, and then especially interventional. And obviously it gets even smaller going into complex coronary interventions. So, and what I've understood from, hearing from women who have gone before me is, a huge reason for that, of course, occupational health concerns and all these things and a lot of things that have sort of been debunked, and there's a lot of good education about this, but exposure is a huge factor in why women aren't necessarily going into this field. And so I think it's incredibly important to have programs like the SCAI-WIN CHIP Fellowship and the SCAI-WIN committee engaging women at younger or earlier stages to even consider having a career in interventional. I think it's just something that we don't always necessarily think about. Like I said, I was on a totally different path until I got to the cath lab. So I think that exposure is incredibly important, and I think there's still a lot of work to do to recruit the best people out there, people that are passionate about what they do. And there's a lot of women out there that I think would be very passionate and good at this job. They just don't know it yet. So
That's absolutely very well said. And I think SCAI is doing a really good job about making sure that women get the platform, get a voice at the table, and get involved. So thank you so much for everything, and best of luck for your future endeavors.